Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, Republican Georgia, never one to shy away from controversy, has once again taken to social media to launch a scathing attack. This time, her target is none other than Vice President Kamala Harris. Greene's latest X remarks on Wednesday, August 28, comes just days before Harris is set to visit Georgia as part of her pre-election tour of key battleground states. Greene, who has made a name for herself with her fiery rhetoric and unwavering conservative views, expressed outrage over Harris's decision to be accompanied by her vice presidential running mate, Tim Walz, during what Greene described as Harris's very first interview. Marjorie Taylor Greene did not hold back, labeling Harris as weak and incompetent, and mocking her for needing what she called her communist comrade to sit by her side and hold her hand. Harris's visit to Georgia is part of a broader effort to engage directly with voters in states that could prove pivotal in the upcoming 2024 elections. The sit-down interview, which is expected to touch on a range of issues from the economy to healthcare, has been designed to bolster Harris's connection with voters and address concerns head-on. However, Greene's sharp criticism suggests that Harris's visit may not be universally welcomed, especially among Georgia's conservative electorate. Greene's words are a direct challenge to Harris's ability to connect with Georgian voters, painting her as out of touch and ill-prepared to handle the state's pressing issues. "Georgia won't be buying the lies she's selling," Greene declared, summing up her belief that Harris's message would fail to resonate with the state's electorate. Greene's statement is a clear indication of the growing tension between the political right and left as the nation inches closer to Election Day. Greene's social media rant is part of a broader pattern of increasingly hostile exchanges between the Biden administration and its Republican critics. Her latest attack on Harris is particularly pointed, not just for its personal nature, but for the broader implications it carries about the direction of the country under Democratic leadership. Greene's choice of words, referring to Walz as a communist comrade, is not just a jab at Harris but also a critique of the progressive wing of the Democratic Party, which Greene and other Republicans often accuse of steering the country towards socialism. By framing Harris and Walz in this light, Greene is tapping into a deep well of conservative fear and resentment over what they perceive as the leftward drift of American politics. For Greene, this is more than just political theater. It's a calculated effort to galvanize her base, a constituency that views Harris and her policies with deep suspicion. By positioning Harris as both weak and ideologically extreme, Greene is reinforcing her image as a staunch defender of conservative values and a vocal opponent of the Biden administration. Greene didn't stop at questioning Harris's competence, she also linked the vice president directly to the economic woes that have plagued the country in recent months, a tactic that has become a cornerstone of Republican criticism as inflation and rising costs continue to dominate the national conversation. "Thanks to Kamala, we can't afford it," Greene exclaimed in her post, tying Harris to the economic difficulties that many Americans are facing. This rhetoric is part of a broader Republican strategy to portray the Biden administration as being out of touch with the struggles of everyday Americans. For Greene and her supporters, Harris's policies are seen as contributing to the economic pain felt by many in Georgia and across the country. By framing Harris as the architect of economic hardship, Greene is appealing to the economic anxieties of her constituents, many of whom have seen their costs of living rise while wages remain stagnant. It's a message that resonates particularly well in rural Georgia, where voters are often skeptical of federal policies, and are looking for leaders who will stand up for their interests.